Okay, everyone. This is just a little bit of vent, I guess. Well, I draw because I just feel like talking to myself, and I might post it eventually, so we'll know if this ever sees the light of day if you're watching it. Um, I struggling with a lot of things, always, life. But I've recently started taking up sewing, and by recently I mean like a week ago. And I'm using my mother's old sewing machine. It's like God knows how old the thing is. It hasn't been used in like 10 years. And I'm sewing little plushies because I thought that'd be like the easiest thing to make. Right? It's just two pieces of fabric sewn together stuffed. And, the first one I had a lot of trouble with. Right? You always have trouble with something when you start it out first. So, I was having issues. Had to learn how to thread the whole sewing machine. And nobody in my house really knows how to sew. So it was like 1 a.m. and I was just rolling with the moment and working on the sewing machine. And I had issues. I had issues at, the hard part. Getting around curves and stuff. Because unfortunately plushies still have curves. And it was difficult. But I took a break because at that point it had been like a couple hours and my back was hurting and I was just trying the same things over and over again and not finding any problems or any solutions to the problems. And not finding any solutions to the problems and the mistakes frustrates me because in my mind it's, I've always been told it's only ever a bad mistake if you don't learn from it. And I wasn't learning. I was just making the same mistake over and over again, constantly. And I would try to put the effort into figuring out what it is, and I wasn't figuring out what it is. So I guess I was learning what it wasn't. But that never really fixed my problem, and I still don't know what the problem is. But, maybe soon it'll be fixed. And so eventually, the next morning, I took a break. The next morning, I sat down and I finished a little manta ray plush. And he's cute, he's adorable, red. And I was really glad to have him finished. And I was like, well, now I have one. Clearly, making the second one's gonna be easier, right? And I gotta make the second one. And he's blue this time. And I had so many issues the second go around, and it frustrated me, because, you think you would be, once you're done with the first, you think you'd be easier from there, because you know what you're doing. But that's never how anything works. I found that a lot of things work, and I've had other people describe the same phenomenon. It's like beginner's luck. Or I've seen one person describe it as it's like beating an Elden Ring boss. When you first go in to beat an Elden Ring boss, he said, you always have, you get really far in your first go, and then you die. And then your next 100 goes, you're just dying over and over again so much earlier. And that's what this felt like. It felt like the second time around, the first time around I got it, and then the second time around there were so many more problems. Like, I needed to wait for machine oil to come because my machine started squeaking, and I had to learn how to oil the machine. And then now I have to wait for a new needle to come because my sewing machine needle snapped. Which, it's like a 10-year-old sewing machine needle, and I didn't have anything in the house to replace it with, so now I have to wait. But I decided I didn't want to wait, and I decided I was going to learn how to hand sew, so I can hand sew this little guy. And that went about as well as trying to hand sew went. And I got very frustrated because my second one wasn't as good as my first. Wasn't near as good. I mean, he's lopsided, his eyes are all off and wonky. But, I still made it, and I can't really compare the two because one's hand sewed and one's machine sewed. But I had so many more difficulties with the machine the second time around, and it just frustrates me because I feel like I got the first one, and I felt like I should have it, and then I didn't. And even still knowing about the phenomenon of the first one always has the luck, I'm still pretty upset by it. I'm still not happy with the outcome when I really should be. Because, hey, I made that. And it's not too bad, and I'm planning on adding little stars with him with embroidery, and more things went wrong with that. And by that I mean I can't find my white embroidery thread, and neither can I find the manta ray. You know, you set something down for like 20 seconds, and then you come back, and it's just gone. So, you know. But motivation's now a struggle, because I feel unmotivated to work. I mean, I feel unmotivated to work on this drawing right now. I'm just filling in lines over and over again and not really making much progress on the drawing. But, you know, slow, I guess. And sewing's something I want to do because I want to get into fashion. And I want to make fashion. I want to make cosplays of, like, my own characters, like, Deus. This is Deus. He's new. And I feel like I need to learn how to sew to do that, you know? Gotta make my own stuff. And, yeah. It's going. I just feel unmotivated with the project. And I know I need to just push through that, but life is just, unmotivating sometimes. And I'm gonna push through it, and maybe I'll post on here another manta ray, and it'll be a different color, and that's how you know I made it through and made another manta ray. But, yeah. Maybe a little bit of rant can help whoever's watching get up and get motivated back to doing a project, because I know I'm gonna go right back to sewing. Once, you know, 4 days rolls around and I have my new needle and I can go back to sewing. And I know I'm always gonna come back to drawing, even when I'm not motivated or not happy with what I create. Because I enjoy drawing as much as I act like I don't enjoy drawing, with getting frustrated at all of my old drawings that look bad and my new drawings that look bad. I always end up making something that makes me happy. And, you know, both the manta rays make me happy. Looking back at both of them, I'm really glad I made something with sewing, and I finally, after putting it off for a while, actually sat there and made something. Maybe I should color this drawing now.